Hello, Earth signs, and welcome into your reading for the first half of March, where we'll be taking a look at the energies for jobs and careers, love and relationships, and then life path and mission. So before we get into that, we're going to take a look at the overall astrological happenings in the first half of March. So there's nothing in retrograde right now, so that's good. Last year we had some heavy energy. There were periods where we had 6 and 7 different planets in retrograde. But on the 9th, we do have Mercury entering Aries. So it had been in Pisces, which was kind of this more imaginative, creative type of energy. When it pushes into Aries on the 9th, that's going to be more about this quick, fierce communication, about kind of taking action and taking initiative and kind of the go get 'em type of energy. We do have a Pisces new moon on the 10th, and that's going to bring in some excitement about different spiritual projects, some growth, kind of ready for a new beginning from a spiritual standpoint. And then on the 11th, we have Venus transitioning out of Aquarius and into Pisces. So when it was in Aquarius, middle of February, that was bringing in this energy of having some change in your relationships. And now with it entering Pisces on the 11th, you'll be craving more of that spiritual connection with your partner, with loved ones. So a little bit more compassionate, understanding, gentle type of energy. So that's what we have coming in terms of astrological things. And the format for this is going to be the same that I've been doing this year, where I'm pulling cards at the very beginning of the reading, and that's going to be for earth signs in general. And then I'm going to go sign by sign, pulling some additional tarot cards from a different deck and some oracle cards just to get some clarification and a little bit more depth as to what the overall reading means for you specifically. So let's start out. This is from the kind of gemstones or crystal deck that I have. Let's see if there's a specific crystal that Spirit is encouraging you to work with. Charcoal, cleansing, clearing, and releasing negativity. So there's been a lot of this, I'll call it heavy negative energy, kind of a lot of, and if you've been watching the daily readings, you've noticed that there's kind of this heavy energy that's been hanging out there. And so this is about, like, the first half of March is going to be about trying to clear some of that, trying to cleanse yourself from that low vibe energy and try to push yourself into a higher timeline, into a better, higher vibe experience instead of getting, stuck down in the weeds of things. All right, so let's jump in. Let's take a look at jobs and careers first and see what wants to come up. So in the recent past, we've had Page of Cups, currently sitting in the Tower in reverse, with the next level of energy being the Ace of Wands. So with work, there had been a little bit of this, kind of like a naive energy. So maybe you were excited about it at the beginning, but now you've kind of been pushed into this, the Tower in reverse is about, you're trying sort of desperately to hold on to something that's trying to fall apart. And, you're resisting change and you're kind of delaying the inevitable, like you're afraid to let go of it. So almost like you had started down a certain path with that kind of wide-eyed innocence, and things changed and you started to become more aware of what was really going on, and you didn't like it, but you were holding on to it and really trying to keep it together. And then the next level of energy coming in is some excitement, like some new beginnings and some creativity. So I think between the two of those, there's going to be some sort of tower, like, you're resisting the change and you're delaying the inevitable because you're trying to hold on to it. So if you watch the daily readings, I love it. The tower is actually a lady sitting on top of a jello mold that kind of looks like a skirt. And so I feel like, especially when the tower is in reverse and you're looking at it, that she's at the bottom of this, wedge shape that's going out like this. And it almost like, okay, you can't hold up an inverted jello mold and keep it from falling apart. Like, it's just going to end up falling apart. So I love that visual from that Housewives deck. So if you haven't checked out the daily readings, this is what the Housewives deck looks like. So you can see it's kind of like the old timey pictures. And so yeah, that I love the Tower card in there, and I didn't know if I was going to see it real fast, but so check out the daily readings if you want to see more of those cards. So that is for jobs and career, and we'll get some more cards pulled for each of the individual zodiac signs here in a minute. Let's take a look at love and relationships. In the recent past, you've had the Seven of Pentacles in reverse, currently sitting in the Nine of Wands energy. And then the next level of energy coming in is the Six of Wands. So in the recent past, you've had this energy of like kind of just lacking the effort, like, I'm done. And, you've been sitting in that, and currently you're in this like persistent making a stand type of energy. Like there's some resilience. So it's almost like you've been lacking the effort, but you're still staying. So it's not necessarily that it looks like, oh, there's this change of heart. It's almost more like, I'm here, but I'm here because that's where I'm supposed to be. The next level of energy, this Six of Wands energy, is kind of this victorious energy. And so we'll get some clarification on that about, is it that the relationship turns around, or what is the mindset change? What pushes it in this direction? All right. And then last line to take a look at is life path and mission. So we have our King of Swords in reverse in the recent past, Six of Swords in the current energy, and the Empress as the next level of energy coming in. So in the recent past, there's kind of been like the sense of weakness or coldness, almost like this cruel energy, like as it relates to your life path. So with your life path and mission, this is almost kind of like turning your back on, I don't care what my life path is. I'm not even focused on that. I don't even care. And it's not resonating as something that's getting your attention. In the current energy with your Six of Swords, this is like a positive change. Like you're moving on from that mindset and pushing yourself into, no, what is my purpose in life? Like really, what is it that I'm here to be doing? So it's almost like this sense of, oh, now I get it. I don't need to be getting caught up in, like what's happening at work and all of that. Like I'm not going to let that pull me off my life path. And then the next level of energy coming in, the Empress, this is that abundant, creative, flowing type of energy. So it looks like you really are pushing into this space of moving into your true purpose and like finding your purpose and feeling like you know where you're going, where you are on your life path. So that's the energy for the collective in general, or for the Earth sign collective. And now let's go ahead and take a look at individually with the signs, what other information is coming through for you. So let's start with Taurus and see, the first one that jumped out is the Hierophant. So since we haven't gotten into one of those, if this is call it some of your overlying message here about the Hierophant, and that is about kind of finding a teacher or a mentor, a guru that's going to point you in the right direction. So some of this could be a matter of, if it's going with your life path, that's what's helping to get you back on track, but finding a mentor or somebody to help you with the job situation, maybe finding somebody to help you get some clarity here with relationships. All right, so let's take a look first at jobs and careers and see what other information is coming through for Taurus. We have our Queen of Swords, and then we have Strength. So the Queen of Swords energy, this is kind of that like independent, no nonsense, she's taking her sword and slashing away like all the BS. When you look at her face, I don't know if I can get this to focus in on her face, but she has this very like pinched look, like very determined look on her face. So then with the Strength card, it's a matter of allowing yourself to stay in the moment without getting too overwhelmed. So you're resisting this positive change, but it looks like a new start's coming in. So let's get some clarification. Is this new start, maybe I'll pull one of these oracle cards and see if that has any clarification. But is this a fresh new start at your current job? Or is this, oops, oh, this card is a timing card. I'll put this over here. So let's see if there's anything that can be gained here from this deck. Thank you for the lesson. So we have that one, but then just getting a little bit of clarification here, like what else does Taurus need to know about this job? So is this a matter of you're leaving this job, or is it a matter of just restructuring what's going on? Let's see if we can get anything there. Judgment in reverse, and then we have Temperance in reverse. So in terms of with the job situation, Judgment in reverse is kind of like you're failing to learn from the past, and there's a little bit of like doubt and ignorance that's going with it. And then with your Temperance in reverse, that's going to be about like imbalances and some sense of avoidance and ignorance. So it seems like this is a matter of needing to clear out the job situation and make a fresh new start. So let's see from a timing perspective when that kind of Ace of Wands fresh new start comes in. Once you let go of the past. So since there was this sense of clinging to the past, like you're not going to be able to move forward from the job perspective until you let go. And that's kind of where some of this thank you for the lesson comes in, that everything that's happening is happening for a reason. And this is part of your soul growth path. So Ace of Swords. This is a new, since we're starting on to the love and relationships part, you have Ace of Swords energy, Two of Wands energy, and the Devil. So your Two of Wands, this is about like personal power and making a decision, and there's some clarity that comes through. There's going to be some sort of a breakthrough or clarity that comes through, and you have this Devil energy. So this Devil energy is anything that's keeping you from living your highest timeline, like anything that's keeping you distracted from your purpose. So when we started out, we had this Seven of Pentacles in reverse, so kind of like lacking effort, and it has to do with almost like abandoning projects or walking away. And so it looks like from this, you're walking away from this situation because your heart's not in it anymore. You're walking away from the situation, and then you kind of have to be resilient. You have to make that stand and say, no, I'm walking away. Something better is coming in, because you've had that feeling of battling with this Devil energy, and you're kind of taking the reins yourself. It's interesting. So even though this is Ace of Swords, it really does look like a 2, because you have this, I guess maybe this is a cut in the painting. So it's kind of that sense of breakthrough, and there was a choice. I would read that as, almost like a 2 type of energy, almost like a 2 of Swords, where it's a difficult choice, but you have this moment of clarity and breakthrough, and then you're in this sense of personal power and like traveling. So she's looking off into the distance, like, okay, I'm looking past, and both of these are looking in the same direction. They're looking this way. He's looking forward. The horse is going that way. Like, let's move on. Let's go to a happier place. So if it's a matter of moving on from this relationship, kind of like let's get there. Let's take a look at a timing card with that. Once you forgive yourself. So if you can put yourself into a headspace, like if you've been hanging out here because you feel bad, you feel guilty, but you're just not putting in any effort, like physical presence doesn't mean energetic presence. It doesn't mean you're engaged in that relationship. It doesn't mean that I used to have a client that would say dynamically engaged. Are you dynamically engaged? You're not. It's lacking the effort. You're walking away from it, but you need to be able to forgive yourself to be able to move on. So that's one of the big keys there. Let's take a look at life path and mission. Oh. And then here, this is this Hidden Truth Oracle card. And let's see what we have. I look for you everywhere. And then let's pull a couple of these. I want you, and I don't react when people mention you. So this is a little bit of this, part of the hidden truth is that this is a tough thing to move on from, but this is that devil energy. Like, this devil energy of, I want you, whether that's you wanting the other person, whether it's you, kind of looking everywhere for the other person, or whether it's them looking for you, but it comes across like it's, hey, I'm moving on, I'm making a stand. And so this I would say is this devil energy, that it's like these cards are all telling that you're moving on, like this resilience, you're moving on. And then the devil energy is, what are they telling you to try to keep you there? And, that's going to be your test is, is what they're saying, is what they're saying just that devil energy? Because, if you've gotten to a place of not being happy, or call it apathy or whatever, and you're just not putting in the effort, is it that these are lies? Is that devil energy? Is that what somebody's telling you to try to keep you where you are? So, let's take a look now at life path and mission, and then we'll take a look at some other oracle cards as well. So we have this as a jumper. We have justice, and we have the Queen of Cups. And since that was a jumper, I'll pull another one. Four of Wands in reverse. So the Justice card is about finding that balance. It's about, just having that balance in place. So that's going to be kind of like harmony, and you're feeling more balanced once you can get yourself into this space of, oh, this is what my life purpose is. So the Queen of Cups energy is kind of this kindness and compassionate. So when you find your place, you're going to be put into this compassionate energy. And this, if you're a twin flame, the Four of Wands is usually a twin flame card, upright or in the reverse, it's still 11-11. So Four of Wands in reverse, though, is about, there's some family discord and there's self-doubt, and you kind of feel like this lack of teamwork, and you may be pushed into a space where you feel like you're creating family discord by following the path that's right for you. And so some of that is, if the path is right for you, if you can confidently stay in that energy and say, but this is my life, this is my path, people will fall in line with that. The place where you get a lot of that gritty, tough energy is when people are not being true to themselves, when people are like either putting on a front or they're lying to themselves or whatever. That's where you get more of this like gritty energy, because you radiate differently when you're energetically at peace, when you're energetically balanced. And so if you can stand in that, even if it's uncomfortable moving into it, eventually that's where you'll find that peace. Have faith in your dreams. So this is that whole reminder of, you're the creator of your experience. You want a happier experience, make different choices and create that, but have faith in your dreams. What you want in terms of happiness is it's not silly. It's not to be, dismissed. Like, have faith in it, that things will work out if you can release your need to control everything. All right. Hathor, receptivity. Allow yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, energy, and ability to give to others. So, wherever that falls for you, if it's that you've given all of your energy into something because you feel like that's just what you're supposed to do, allow yourself to receive and, open up to that. So remember too, since overall we have this releasing negativity, cleansing, and clearing, it seems like that's resonating the most here. That it's like you're energetically, you're done. Like you keep kind of making this stand, but energetically you're done. And once you have this revelation and this breakthrough and can forgive yourself, then you can kind of move on. And that's having to do with clearing some of that negative karma, clearing, like cleansing yourself and forgiving yourself. These were the ones. So these were the 2 jumper cards. So try a new hobby. Sometimes that can bring in some new inspiration for you, and then they aren't who you think they are. So as I was saying with this line here, this kind of like hidden truth oracle, or these messages coming through, I look for you everywhere, I want you, that really comes across as this devil energy that they're saying that, but it's coming across as that devil energy, that they don't really mean it, because if they had meant it, this wouldn't have happened in the first place. So that's coming across that they aren't really who you think they are. So I hope this reading has been helpful for you. As always, take only what resonates and leave the rest. I'll be doing some additional readings beyond the dailies, so make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell if you want to be alerted as to when those new videos post. Otherwise, I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time. All right, so that was Taurus, and now we are on to Virgo. So for our Virgos, let's see what all messages are coming through for you for the first half of March. First we have the Page of Wands, and then we have the Ace of Pentacles. So as it relates to the work situation, there's some happiness, some excitement, some optimism. So after, kind of like after you let this tower fall, after you stop resisting this change, then you are going to have some excitement, some new beginning. And then your Ace of Pentacles, this is about like a prosperous new start. And with the Page of Wands being happiness and excitement. So there's definitely good things on the horizons here for you, for our Virgos, as it relates to work. So new exciting things happening on that front. Let's take a look at the relationship side of things. We have Ace of Wands, and we have the Hanged Man in reverse. So your Ace of Wands, this is some kind of creativity, some new beginnings. And then with your Hanged Man in reverse, it's a sense of like stagnation and sacrifice. So like needless sacrifice. So it's kind of like this resilience is unnecessary. Like this persistence and you're making a stand, like that's unnecessary. If you're in this energy of you don't have it in you anymore, like it's kind of like, okay, victory over that situation is a new fresh start. So if it's one specific issue that's plaguing you within your relationship, maybe it's a matter of laying down that burden and having that fresh new start, depending on the scenario. Maybe a fresh new start altogether in life. Maybe it's moving on from that relationship. So let's see what comes through on these hidden truth oracles. Finding out the truth crushed me, and I know I was a distraction from your pain. So it's almost like, if this was I'll call it a newer relationship, maybe not somebody you'd been with a long time, like that they found out that your heart wasn't really in it. It was just kind of like they were a rebound or they were a distraction, and you kind of felt bad about it, and that's why you kept trying even though your heart wasn't in it anymore. But this is like that energy of moving on from that and saying, no, if it truly was just like a rebound and your heart wasn't in it, just, acknowledging that, admitting it, and moving on. Otherwise, if some of this was, some truth that they found out and it was really hurtful, could be a matter of you two working through that and then getting that sense of victory, like that you worked through whatever that obstacle was. But let's take a look at a timing card for when does this kind of fresh new start come in. Because it's interesting. So you have a lot of that type of energy coming in for you. Oh, so it's saying not in the foreseeable future. So if it's a new start that's coming in, maybe that's not happening in the near future. Maybe this is just turning over a new leaf within your existing relationship as opposed to walking away from it and starting something else. But, there's a lot of, I'll call it fresh beginnings type of energy in the read for you, since you have ace, ace, ace. And let's take a look at life path and mission and see what all comes through there. So we have our Six of Swords in reverse and the World. So there's some sense of resistance to positive change. So, remember down here, you're sitting in kind of this cold, weak, cruel energy, and that's going to go along with this resistance to positive change. But then once you acknowledge that whatever this big scenario is, it's just part of your life path, and it's time to close out that cycle. The World is about the completion of a certain cycle or a lesson. So once you can push yourself out of that, like stop resisting whatever the positive change is, it's usually when people are resisting the positive change, it's that they're unsure of or worried about closing out a lesson, closing out a chapter that really is done. And so let that chapter close so that you can move on and you can be sitting in a happier type of energy. So yeah, Seven of Pentacles, that's going to be, that growth and that reward, and you will feel that reward. You will be reaping the benefits once you can close that cycle out. So let's pull a timing card to see when it looks like you're able to close that, when does that World card come? When does the closing of that chapter come? Summer. So not too far off. It's just a matter of pushing yourself out of that energy, closing that up, because this, your Six of Swords, you're currently sitting in this energy of like positive change and moving on. So it, sometimes it takes a little bit to close something out, but it looks like by summertime, it'll be wrapped up and you will be on to that newer creative type of energy. All right, let's take a look at a Moon Oracle card for you. Let's see what wants to come through. Your dreams need a practical plan. So whatever it is, whether it's down here on your life path or mission, or whether you're putting this up here with your job, that, whatever your dream job is or where you want to go in life, you have to be able to have some sort of a practical plan. So anytime people are really driven to go after their goal, it's not because they're sitting on the couch hoping, praying, wishing for something to come in. And even as we talk about like manifesting, if you do any of the law of attraction or work on manifesting, it's not enough that you're spending, I spend 20 minutes a day really, really working on my manifesting, I'm trying to manifest the love of my life, but then I sit on the couch and I'm never out in public to be able to interact with people. Well, you're not going to run into a situation, probably at all, where some random stranger just knocks on your door. Hi, I think you're the love of my life. And things start from there. Like, or trying to manifest your dream job, I really want to manifest this dream job. I'm going to spend 20 minutes a day focusing on it. Well, but if you're not putting your resume out there, if you're not out interacting with people at all, again, if you're sitting at home on your couch watching TV all day, how are you ever going to get that dream job? You're not putting yourself in a position to do it. So like whatever your dreams are, they need some sort of a practical plan behind them to be able to put yourself in situations where that opportunity can present itself to you. So we have Dana, High Priestess. You have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teaching. So she seems, that looks very much like the Empress energy there. So you do have light to share with the world, and you do have this valuable insight. So it's a matter of how do you live your path, live your mission. And it's not even about like, how do I get some massive platform like a weekly television show or a YouTube channel with 2 million viewers, or to be able to see my message. getting your message out, even just to, people right around you in your community. You're elevating their vibration. You're helping your community. So just you being you on mission creates this light and this glow about you. Release your need to control the situation. So here with the Tower, if you're trying to keep it from falling, all you're doing is prolonging the situation. Like, stop feeling like you have to control it. Like, let it go, knowing that there's good, positive things on the other side of it. So that is the message for Virgo. As always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. If this has been helpful for you, I would encourage you to hit the like button and subscribe and notification bell if you want to be alerted as to when new videos are posting on the channel. I will be doing some additional ones this week beyond just the regular daily card pulls, so make sure to check those out. And as always, I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Alrighty, last but not least, so we did Taurus, Virgo, and now we are on to Capricorn. So Capricorn, what specific message wants to come in for you as it relates to job and careers? Let's start there. We have our Eight of Swords in reverse, and we have the Hermit. So this is about breaking free of whatever situation was making you feel like you were stuck. So if you were propping up this tower that was trying to fall because you felt like you were stuck, like you had to be there, like, well, this is my job, I really need it, on the heels of this Page of Cups energy, which is kind of this like naive, innocent energy. It's almost like your company, if your company was throwing you breadcrumbs and you feel like, oh, but I have to stay because this is my job. This is that sense of moving on from that and saying, wait a second, I deserve more than breadcrumbs. I need to walk away from situations that aren't treating me fairly. They're not compensating me. It's not a fair energy exchange. And then that kind of puts you also in, there's a little bit of this Hermit energy, which is kind of this like self-reflection. And I would say even that it goes like this, if we're putting it all in order, in terms of clarification for Capricorn, that you've been trying to hold this structure in place. You've been trying to hold on to this job. But as you start to do some of that self-reflection and you really have that deep introspection and you're searching and, is this really the right place for me? And you're realizing, wait a second, I'm tired of being breadcrumbed. Like, interactions in life, it's all about energy exchange. And if they're not valuing you, then why are you still there? And so that deep introspection leads you to breaking free from that so that you can have that fresh new start, so that you can have that new beginning, that, creativity, something that speaks to you a little bit more. So let's take a look from a timing perspective and see when that Ace of Wands looks like it's coming in, and says it's already in motion. So you've already started thinking about that, but it really, continue that introspection, continue that evaluation of, is this the right place for me? Is this really, am I being valued? Do I enjoy what it is that I'm doing? All right, let's take a look now at love and relationships. And for Capricorn, we have the Fool in reverse, and we have the Seven of Wands. So the Fool in reverse, it's like you're afraid to take that leap of faith. It's that fear of the unknown, like you feel like you're not ready. And then with your Seven of Wands, this is like that stamina and perseverance. So these two cards are almost the same card. And you're doing that because you're afraid of taking this leap to be able to get to that next place. So let's pull a couple more cards and see if anything else wants to come through. You have the Ten of Pentacles and you have the Queen of Pentacles, both in reverse. So there's the feeling of instability. So it's like you're holding on to this because you're afraid of some financial instability. Maybe you feel like you can't support yourself. And so it's kind of like a little bit of that greediness of, well, I don't really want to leave. I may as well just sit here and keep trudging through it because I can't support myself. And some of it could be, that you're being breadcrumbed up here. And so you feel like I'm not in a position to be able to be on my own because this situation is so screwed up. Let's take a look. We'll pull a couple of these Hidden Truth Oracle cards. I remember every detail of that day, and I couldn't let you get close to me. So, and it's interesting. I've used this deck now for all these readings. I don't know what I think about it. So, you've been trying with this relationship, but it seems like you just don't necessarily, like your heart's not really in it. So I'm going to say, I feel like that deck is not resonating with me. Like it doesn't seem like it's going with the rest of these readings, I would say. But let's take a look at timing. Like when you shifted out of this, I have to stay because financially I need to. When does it shift out of that? At the most inopportune moment. So, if you're in a position here where there's this fresh beginning, like, okay, so this is already in motion that you've realized that's not where you're going to be. I would say the way this reads is you may end up quitting your job and not necessarily having another one to replace it right away. And that's when you have that moment of, no, you know what? I can't do this anymore. So then it's like, oh gosh, I have no job. I really can't take care of myself, but I can't still be here. But remember to be true to yourself and don't let yourself stay in a situation that you don't belong in because you're afraid of everything. You're afraid of not being able to take care of yourself. So, so plan ahead as best you can. So knowing that this is the energy that's kind of there, start planning ahead as best you can. If you're going to be exiting the job and the relationship, try to work on whatever preparations you can make in advance so that you don't feel like blindsided. All right, life path and mission. We have our Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and we have the Lovers in reverse. So, so remember down here on this line, this King of Swords in reverse, this was a little bit of this like cold, weak, bitter energy about your life path and not really knowing where you were going. And it could be a matter of you thought you knew and then something happened and you're like, well, obviously I didn't know where I was going. So some of this is a matter of, kind of clearing out, like this clearing and cleansing and releasing negativity. So that's definitely in play here. If you feel like you're staying because you're stuck, or if you feel like you're staying at your job because you're stuck, release that negativity and clear that out of your energetic field. Down here with your life path and mission, you're moving on. Like, so there's that sense of, okay, I think I'm finally starting to get it. And with your Nine of Pentacles in reverse, this is a little bit of like financial struggle, like you're overspending and that you're kind of lacking some of your discipline. So watch out for how that's manifesting through your whole reading. So if you've been getting breadcrumbed and you feel like you have to stay in your relationship because you can't support yourself as well as you want to financially, don't then start dumping a whole bunch of money necessarily into, well, I think this is my life path and mission. You also have this Lovers in reverse energy, which is about kind of disharmony and distrust and imbalance. So it's also this sense of figuring out what is it that you really want to do. And some of these may all be woven in together. Like this job is uninspiring. So can you weave your life path and mission together with a new job? In which case maybe there is some investment that needs to be made there, but just be mindful that you're not overspending, that you're not stretching yourself too thin when it comes to your investment down this new path. And some of that comes into some of that preparation. If you know you're going to be leaving, what do you need to do to prepare for that? All right, let's take a look at a moon card for Capricorn. A fiery climax approaches. So, it looks like this is going to come to a head. Actually, both of these are. So it's already in motion, this full moon in Aries. So we have new moon in Aries coming up soon. But full moon in Aries would be, I don't know, I'm guessing like September. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to take until September for all this to wrap up. But just know that you're moving in that direction. All right. And we have Ishtar, boundaries. Love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. And so that definitely is going with this breadcrumb type of energy. And it, like, I don't know, to me, those two cards just are being pulled together. Like, you're reflecting on the fact that people maybe at work, your boss, your coworkers are kind of walking all over your boundaries and like taking you for granted, like, oh, I can just tell this person what to do. It'll be fine. All right. And let's keep shuffling here. Pull another oracle card. Your hard work will pay off. So, know that as you look at moving things along, moving things along here, moving things along here, you will get, like, these are both good, this is good energy. This Ace of Wands energy, that's that new beginning. This is this victorious energy when it comes to your love and relationships line. Like, your hard work is going to pay off. Just stay consistent and know where it is that you want to go, so that way you can move yourself in that direction. So I hope that you found today's message to be helpful. As always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. There will be additional videos posting this week on the website, so make sure you hit the subscribe and notification bell if you want to be alerted as to when those post. Otherwise, I wish you peace and joy along your journey. Until next time.